So, reflecting on our 250-year anniversary of the Declaration of Independence for this country, it's got me thinking a lot about, you know, about what it means to be American. And I'll just put it out there. This channel is all about Reboot Health, but so much more as you know, I mature, if you will, or become more aware of how much the politics actually affect our everyday health. So I'm turning this channel a little bit political sometimes. I'm actually independent voter. I believe that it actually should be illegal in this country to be to have parties, political parties, because I feel like they are not unproductive for a democratic society where we're supposed to be debating issues, not teaming up and dividing us by political parties. It's, to me, I think if we look at how George Washington was our first and only president that was nonpartisan, he was not affiliated with any political party. And I was watching a recent documentary called Thomas Jefferson, and it's on Netflix, and just been watching some different documentaries here recently just to understand our history. And I feel like I'm learning it for the first time, understanding the complexity of our nation and our founding fathers, kind of thing. And I'll tell you, it really gets you thinking about what are we doing, what are we trying to achieve, and it seems like some of history is repeating itself right now. So I think it's really important that we understand these political positions and what is going on in this world, and being able to be objective on looking at the political issues and not just political parties. So I think it should be illegal in this country to have political parties, because it kind of distracts from the real issues that we're facing today, the challenges that we're facing. And it's a us versus them kind of arguments, and it shouldn't. And we're all Americans, and and we should be able to all get along and take it even a step back. If you get out into outer space and you look back at Earth and you realize we're all neighbors on this planet, and next nearest planet that has life is millions and millions of miles away, if there is life. And so we're looking, and we have yet to found any signs of life, definitive signs of life. And so we're neighbors, and we need to learn how to get along here before we try to go out into outer space and try to colonize other planets. It's to me that seems crazy that we want to try to spread our civilization without figuring out how to actually be civil. And I think that starts with having a pure democratic society where we're focused on the issues and not political parties and us versus them kind of talking. And so I think I'm biased because I'm an independent, and I think everybody should be like me. I'm sure there's some advantages to being part of a political party and supporting one political party so that your voice gets heard. But I think the right answer is somewhere in the middle. The best answer, if you will, is somewhere in the middle of the two parties. And if we could learn how to come back to center and try to figure out win-win solutions where most people win. You're not going to make everybody happy, but I think we could do a much better job at appealing to the supermajority rather than the slim majority. and that's what these political parties, this two-party system, is doing to us. Is where they don't have to appease the supermajority of us; they have to just get that 51%. And it's really sad to me that we're so divided, um, and there's so much political violence now, and just people are just so frustrated with the political system. I think we need to scale it down on our rhetoric and criticism of other parties and other people's ideas, really, and just try to say, okay, this is what 50% of the population want, more or less. Then let's figure out how to do it that makes sense for both of us. And since I've been voting, it feels like a yo-yo that we've been, pendulum swings that we've been in this country, and I don't see the progress. It should be building on what the last person did, not spending all their time trying to destroy it. And there's no plan for replacing whatever that person did. So I think we need to seriously look at the way we're approaching politics in this country, and somehow make it where these political parties don't just control the narratives of what we want. American people should decide what they want, and that's going to be more in the middle. And I've talked to plenty of people on both sides of the aisle, and most people want about the same. There's some far left, far right people, in this country, and you're going to find that in any society. But that, in a family, if you take it from like a family standpoint, not everybody gets what they want. But you could give everybody something, and or try to make it where it's enjoyable for most people. And so, thinking about our liberty in our country, thinking about how these political parties formed, this two-party system kind of formed early with Thomas Jefferson and I believe Hamilton, and just dealing with this divisiveness in this country. And we're never going to see eye to eye on everything, but we could try to understand and try to compromise. It doesn't have to be a dirty word. It should be a word that, hey, this is how we're working this out to make it work for everybody, and or at least most people. So something to think about. I'll be bringing some other stuff on here of my thoughts, but this is really hits home with this 250-year anniversary of this country, and just the political polarization that we have in this country right now. And the politicians are using it to their advantage, to get their votes, and to I don't know, it seems to stir up people to want to take action when they try to divide us and make it seem like it's us versus them type of thing, and we got to win, and it becomes like this whole competition thing. It shouldn't be a competition. We should be all trying to work towards a better America. And so leave your comments. I'll try to address them as best as I can. But just one final thought, especially with Christians. There's this big push for Christian nationalism. It's completely contrary to the foundation of this country and the reason Christians left England and Europe in the first place. And so if you want to try to trace your roots back to the first settlers in this country, they were looking for religious freedom, not to set up another church state. And so I think that's the issue, but also I strongly believe that Christians shouldn't have a political party, because even Apostle Paul said that if follow me as I follow Christ, and only as I follow Christ. Like that's we shouldn't be following these leaders blindly. We shouldn't be following them if they're not in line with the scripture. We should not be supporting them 100%. You may like them for XYZ, you may agree with them on certain political points or whatever, but that should be it. You shouldn't devote your life or defend them without end on everything. It's okay. We're all human. We all make mistakes. So even Paul said, I haven't gotten there yet, but I press on to take hold of that which he took hold of me. And so that's what we should be asking our politicians to do for us, is to keep pressing on to become even better politicians, even better servants of the public. And that's what a politician should really be doing, is trying to serve the greater interests of America and for each individual. And when that doesn't happen, we need to be holding them accountable. We should be holding them accountable for immoral actions, for any kind of corruption. And that's all I'll say for right now. But we have a lot of work to do. So peace.